Each and every one of us has the exact body that we're meant to. We were born into the vessel, the avatar, and it was chosen with great precision. We chose the vessel for the journey that we would take in this incarnation. So what I'm about to share with you, please filter it through the divinity that the body and the blood that you have is exactly the body and the blood that you are to have and you're meant to have. Cool? Now, the next piece to this is that our blood carries the codex of our ancestors. And when we look at our abundance quota is the amount of abundance codes that we can embody. And that means fully integrate and have full function and access to. Our light quota is the same, our love quota is the same. Now, why we're about to share with you what happens with the blood is so you can be excited about the offering. The blood that we have within us carries the data from mother to father, from mother to child, from mother to child, from mother to child. And of course, the fathers are involved too. When the parents make the baby together, however it's made, regardless of if it's, made the organic way or in a lab, it does not matter. The DNA architecture itself will code the blood. The blood will carry, it's like a river of codes, cool? And some of us are carrying within our blood, and we chose to do this, by the way, we are carrying survival. We are carrying not enoughness. We are carrying the very coding that wiped out the memory that we are a Trinity consciousness. So beyond all the coding that's buried on top of the Trinity is the Trinity. Yet for the Trinity to reactivate, for the Trinity to fully come back online and be the foundation of how we filter and co-create reality, then there is within the bloodstream codes, imprints, technologies, templates that have been carried over generation to generation. And these get to be reset. I was chatting with my beautiful friend Carissa about this last night. We're having a friend-a-thon, and I was explaining what it means to clear the blood of previous coding and data and information. And I was sharing with her this process, and we discovered that the word, she actually came up with this word, so totally giving her a shout out. The word is a blood reset. When we reset, what we're doing is we're returning any code, any technology, any imprint back to pure light form. So at the beginning of any creation, there is a fractal of light, and then it becomes something. And so at core, we are all light and we've become something, which also means we are not fixed. We are flexible. We are able to, do this. We're able to shift and mold and transform and of course ascend and completely recreate. There are within our human bloodlines, for quite a lot of us, and that doesn't, there are people that have bloodlines with a lot more abundance throughout them, and they're living in much more resource abundant realities. And I'm talking when we look at abundance, some people perceive making $1 million a year to be an extremely abundant reality, where the truth is that we are gods, we are goddesses, we are fractals of source. Gosh, that's a tiny amount of what we're capable of. That the truth is that if we look at what's available in resource abundance, that when we're coded and we have the architecture for it, we all have the capacity to shift and create and generate what we would perceive as billions, trillions of dollars in wealth. Yet, when we look at this very imprinted code, when we look at the way that our DNA has been coded and the flow of the blood, think of the blood carrying all these technologies and codes, and it flows through you. Now, this is how we're co-creating at a physical level. In our physical vessel, where they're not able to embody abundance codes that are stored in our light bodies. We have light bodies that can receive and have so much, yet to have a light body infusion, for this physical body to ascend and be able to embody more of its light body architecture, to merge into one, to become a 5D vessel instead of a 3D vessel, then one of the pieces is a blood reset. Not because our blood sucks, not because it's a problem, it's just for those that are truly on our path of ascension, who are excited to be the Trinity Consciousness. Then we reset. And that means that every single code that's within the bloodstream in relation to creating any form of co-created realities of scarcity, of survival, of working hard, of slavery, any of that stuff. We don't remove them. It's not like we don't filter it. It's not like we install a filter in the blood and let's filter out all the codes. We can. The truth of the matter is that process actually takes a lot longer. People can spend decades clearing and clearing and clearing their old scarcity architecture. Some of you probably would agree that you've been doing that work. You've been doing work on abundance for years, and there's layers and layers and layers of clearing. The reason for this is the way that the architecture is formed, that you can clear certain codes, but it's kind of like pulling out weeds from a gigantic garden. So, with the scroll of light, some of the intelligence and data within the scroll of light allows us to co-create with the scroll of light. And of course, there's a surgery that I'm going to be facilitating from my own gifts and soul toolkit, where we're going to be resetting quite a lot of the codes and technologies within your field that you have carried from ancestral timelines. And I'm talking not the current realities. And for some of you that you're listening, maybe you are living in a third world country and you're actually experiencing, some things that others have not experienced, but their ancestors have. I'm talking about imprints and echoes and leftover data on being hungry, starving to death, dying of thirst, things like this. You might wonder, why would that be in the blood? Why would it be? Well, it's actually a beautiful gift from the ancestors. The ancestor, any physical vessel, is a living full universe architecture. This technology is off its head incredible in its 3D form. Before it even becomes a 5D version of itself, it is wowzers, so powerful. And one of the beautiful, gorgeous ways that it's powerful is that it'll carry data to the next generation, and it carries the data that it believes will support it. It's not filtering what is high frequency, low frequency. It is simply allowing the next generation to have more intelligence. Does this make sense? And this is the evolution process. This is why technically we get stronger, and the DNA that's weaker and unable to survive falls away, and we shift and change. And so it's a beautiful thing that our ancestors shared information. Think about what light is. Light is intelligence, cool? And intelligence in the form of a scarcity code is simply, hey, I hold the intelligence that realities can take away all of your food, that a whole flock of insects can come and eat all the food and there can be no food left. Please be aware that this can happen. Now, that is just light that's turned into intelligence. Does this make sense? When people sort of look at light, they think that light has to only be the highest frequency data. Yet light is just pure intelligence, and that intelligence can be anything. And so a scarcity imprint or a scarcity echo or a scarcity code is simply this intelligence being carried over. If ancestors had to work hard, then those codes are carried. And so we could find ourselves falling into pathways and co-creating realities where we have to work really hard for our resources. Nak Ti Alahatai. Now this is the next piece. Sandra asked, will the blood reset also reset our children's blood? I love this. This is what's really, really cool and why I'm so excited to co-create this with you all. That our blood joins us. Your blood is interconnected, quantum. I'm going to talk about quantum blood now. Our blood and the frequency of it, it's like a radio station. And our families are tapped into that grid. Think of it like literally each of us has a blood grid. And here's what's pretty epic. So first up, whenever you do any ascension work, your upgrades will upload through the quantum into the blood of your family that you're sharing, like your mom, your dad, your children. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then we're also going deeper. So when we're doing really deep, very advanced blood work, we're also working beyond in the fact that time does not exist. Linear time is a construct, you know, of 3D reality. And in truth, all time exists at the same time. Every slice of time is happening right now. And so through our blood grids, we can go in and upload and reset the blood of our ancestors and recreate alternate realities. And as we're creating alternate realities, so say our great-great-grandfather, you know, was post-war, lost everything, had to work really hard, you know, living on the streets, then, you know, died of hunger for argument's sakes. When we do the work, we are then sharing this into that version of themselves. A parallel alternate version of that being gets created without that bloodline. Another reality is coinciding in that moment where the grandfather never experienced that. And then that's co-creating the new architecture and building, literally building in that moment instantly across time and space, new architecture of Gaia, new realities, new timelines. When we do this deep, deep blood work, we are working with the very fabrics of the universe and co-creating new versions of Gaia, new interwoven past, present interconnections. Does this make sense? So it's like when we shift what happened in the past and we create another possibility, then we're able to build with the possibility timeline, not the other one. We've got another construct, a whole set of new building blocks that we can weave reality in. Isn't that cool? Like, I personally just love this so much. And so yes, as you do ascension work, it is being shared with your families and they're receiving in this regard. This is also how we're co-creating as a collective, that every single one of us on the planet receives when even one of us takes a huge leap in their consciousness. Because when we look at the blood, it echoes so tremendously that yes, you could sort of go, oh, it's my grandparents and my great-grandparents. As you continue down, like continue following the family tree and the interwoven interconnectivity through the blood, we are pretty much connected to almost every single living person on the planet through our blood. If you follow it all the way through, and this is how we're interconnecting through the collective consciousness grids in such a profound way. It's super cool. And so I wanted to share this with you because one of the gifts that we're going to be doing is the first. There are several blood resets that I do within the Codex of Abundance journey. And I was guided to share the first one globally as a gift. The reason I'm not giving you all of them for free inside of an event like this, please know, is it is really deep work. And the people that take this deep process do require to be in a safe space, held and supported, so they can be guided through the process, because there's a lot that shifts and changes.